When I started at my new high school, there was one rule that made absolutely no sense. Nobody was allowed to use the third floor bathroom after 4 p.m. Not students, not teachers, nobody. I thought it was just an old school rule that nobody cared about. Then one afternoon, I stayed late to finish a project. At exactly 4:15 p.m., I really needed to use the bathroom. I remembered the rule, but I figured, what could possibly happen? So I went upstairs. The hallway was completely empty. I opened the bathroom door. Everything looked normal, until I noticed something strange. There were 6 bathroom stalls, but one of them had a brand new lock on the outside. I walked closer. There was a small piece of paper taped to it. It said, "Do not open." Obviously, that made me even more curious. I reached toward the lock. Then I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around. It was my history teacher. He looked at me and immediately said, "Get out, right now." I had never seen a teacher look that scared before. I left without asking questions. The next morning, I told my best friend what happened. He went completely silent. Then he said, "You actually went up there?" I asked him why everyone was so afraid of that bathroom. He told me something that nobody had ever mentioned. 3 years earlier, a student had disappeared from the school after staying late. The last place anyone saw him was the third floor bathroom. I thought it was just an old rumor, until that afternoon. I was cleaning out my locker when I found a folded piece of paper hidden behind my books. There was only one sentence written on it. "You opened the door, didn't you?" My hands went cold. I hadn't opened the locked stall. At least, I didn't think I had. Then I looked at the bottom of the paper. There was a date written underneath. It was tomorrow's date. I immediately went to the principal. He read the note and didn't say a word. Instead, he called my history teacher into the office. After a few minutes, the principal finally told me the truth. The missing student had never disappeared. He had been found alive months later, but his family had moved away, and the school had kept the entire incident private. The third floor bathroom had been closed because it was connected to an old maintenance tunnel. Someone had been secretly entering the school through that tunnel, and the school never figured out who it was. The rule wasn't really about the bathroom. It was about keeping students away from the tunnel. But there was one thing the principal couldn't explain. The note I found was written in the missing student's handwriting, and nobody had seen him in 3 years.